What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Gotham Knights being rated in Taiwan. Now, the interesting story here is not that it got rated, right? These ratings, the Taiwan, the Korean rating board, these things happen, right? They come out randomly, and normally they indicate that a game is releasing rather soon when we don't have a release date, right? When the game is not given a release date yet. And it normally helps us figure out, okay, this game is probably 2, 3, 4 months away. It's not going to come out tomorrow, but this game is not like a year away. That's what ratings normally give us when this happens. But this one, well, obviously, we know the release date, October 25th, so this is not a surprise, really, right? Because we're getting ever so close to the release, but it was only rated for the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X, and there were not last-gen versions mentioned or rated as well. Now, that could be, and I want to make sure I say that one more time, could be a red alarm. If you go on Reddit, you will see a lot of people, that very much think. Now, I guess I just don't want to give a definitive answer because I just don't know. So I'm not going to try to fool people. I'm not going to pretend like I know the intricacies of the Taiwan rating board of why those generations, why those console versions were not rated. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it gets done later. Maybe they canceled them. And that obviously is the story or the idea that I want to talk about in this video. Is it possible that those versions have been pulled? Yes, it is possible. In fact, if you go on the Reddit page where they broke this down, there is other examples of Warner Bros. Doing this in the past, where last-gen versions, and it is, remember, that's how we have to classify it. Current gen is PS5, Xbox Series S and X. It is the current generation that we're in, so obviously, and last gen would be PS4, Xbox One, okay? So they've done it before, I think, for games like on PS4 and Xbox One, for PS3 and Xbox 360. This has happened before. It hasn't happened in a while, but this is not, I guess the reason why I would talk about this, why this could be a possibility, why I'm not freaking out, but I'm also not going to dismiss it entirely, is this is not the first game, even in the last month or two, that we've heard about dropping last-gen versions, right? In fact, the last one I remember, there could have been one other example, is this year's Need for Speed game. In fact, Jedi Fallen Order 2 is the other one I'm thinking of. Jedi Fallen Order 2 didn't drop it, but it's only going to be on next-gen. That's according to Jeff Grubb. And then Need for Speed, that one's interesting and would be pretty similar because EA actually promised that it would be on both last gen, current gen, and the rumor is they dropped last gen entirely. So the Need for Speed game that will come out this fall, the new one, will only be on next gen consoles or current gen, again, depending on how you say it. So that, I made a video on that. I talked about how I would be pretty upset if I was consumers that only had a PS4, Xbox One, only for the reason that EA had said it was going to happen, and then they pulled the plug on it, which is pretty scummy. This would be relatively the same. I really, I don't want to be mean, right? I don't want to be, or purposely mean, but I don't really know any other way of saying it. Do I disagree with the idea that games should be moving to only next gen or only current gen? No, I actually very much agree with that, and I have agreed with that for years. But the idea that you promise something for certain consoles and then you don't do it, that is the issue. The idea that Gotham Knights, when it was first announced, it's on PS5, Xbox Series S and X, but it's also on PS4 and Xbox One. While I maybe didn't even agree with it at the time, I don't even know, what my mindset was. And also you have to remember, depending on when the game was supposed to come out in the first place, it would have made more sense to be on both generations versus just one. That is fair. I would say, again, am I opposed to the idea of Gotham Knights only being on PS5, Xbox Series S and X? Not really, because the more time has gone on, now this game releases October 25th. That is almost 2 years in. In fact, it's 2 full years of the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X. I get chip shortages. I get not everybody has it, but the general idea that the consoles have been out for 2 years and then a game comes out only on those consoles, I understand that. You can take a step back and you can understand it, right? But my problem would be, that was not how it was. You have to honor what you said, in my opinion. Now, I don't know. It's not a legal binding thing. EA, I don't think, is getting in any legal trouble for, sometimes things in trailers and stuff. You've heard stories of people suing Sony because this thing wasn't represented the right way in the trailer or whatever. They issued a press release or whatever it happens to be. I don't know if these people can get in trouble for that because you said it's on PS4 and Xbox One and then it's not. I don't know if that leads to legal things. It could, and maybe it could not. But again, I'm not declaring that this is the case. But what obviously this video is about is I would get it to some extent, or I do get it to some extent, but I also think it's pretty rough that you would do something like that if it happens, and I fully would expect people would be mad. I don't think everybody would be mad because some people do have, if you have a Series X or S, or you have the PS5, there's you're kind of like me. Like, we can talk about it, but I mean, we're not in the field. We're not in that scenario to know what it feels like, right? So I would understand people being upset. I don't think everybody would be upset, but I do think some people would, and I think they have every right. Anybody who was expecting Need for Speed on PS4 has every right to be upset. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Somebody who has a PS4, Xbox, because what's funny is, and maybe it's because I'm so much into this community, right? Like, I see all of your guys' comments. There were people I remember, and maybe there still are, that would write in the videos and say, oh, thank God it's not only on PS5, etc., right? Because I only have a PS4, and I'm probably not going to be able to get the PS5, so, like, thank God that I'll be able to play it. And I saw countless people that said that. Now, again, like, I got the PS5 day one. I really tried to get the PS5 day one, and I'm not going to play the PS4 version of this game, right? That would never happen for me. But that's me. Yeah, everybody's different. So somebody like that who was like, oh, thank you, because I was going to get it like year 4. Some people can't even get PS5 still, right? So it's like, well, I'm not going to get the next-gen consoles for several years, so thank God that the game isn't making me do that. It's gonna, and they promised it. They say it out loud, and then all of a sudden they take that back and say, yeah, and again, from a development standpoint, I may get it because it's extra work, it's extra resources. Maybe they don't have the time, maybe they don't have the manpower, whatever the reason may be. They may have made the decision to say, hey, in order for this game to work, in order for us to get it out this decade, we need to only have it on these consoles, not on the last gen. I get that, but again, you promised it, so that's that. And again, I guess the word promise is ambiguous. Did they really promise it? That's up to you to decide. Again, legally binding, I doubt it, but it's interesting. So again, I'm not going to make a definitive assessment here. I don't know for sure if it means anything, but people online seem to think it means something, and so obviously worthy of us talking about. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think the game is ditching PS4, Xbox One? Let me know. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on so you guys know when all these videos go up, and I hope to see you all on the next video.